Hot Springs Village Inside Out is a closer look at the largest gated community in North America, spanning 26,000 acres in the Ouachita Mountains in south central Arkansas. Join me, Randy Cantrell, and some occasional guests as we explore Hot Springs Village Inside Out. HSV Inside Out is sponsored by Ike Eisenhower State Farm. Ike and his award-winning team have been serving the insurance needs of folks all around Hot Springs Village since 1998. Call Ike Eisenhower State Farm today at 501-984-4100. That's 501-984-4100. Find them online at ikeeisenhower.net. Call them today for all your insurance needs because, like a good neighbor, Ike Eisenhower State Farm is there. Also sponsored by McGraw Realtors, located in the heart of Hot Springs Village, the fastest growing real estate office with over 30 agents and staff. Executive brokers Lori and Ken Henderson, along with realtor and waterfront specialist Rick Marshall, they're eager to share the special features of Hot Springs Village with you. For a complimentary relocation packet, call Ken and Lori at 501-276-3018 or Rick Marshall at 501-601-RICK. They are McGraw Realtors of Hot Springs Village. Welcome to the back porch. Spring has sprung and summer is coming up on us fast. We still aren't through the spring storm season. There's big rain headed our way for Easter Sunday, but it's other than the pollen falling, had to get out here and hose out the whole patio area. The pollen was crazy thick. Thankfully, I don't have any sinus issues, don't have any allergy issues, but it's something to probably consider if you have big allergies to pollen and things. Then there's going to be a particular time of year, like now, that's going to be a challenge for you. So let's get this pillow where it needs to be. Randy Cantrell, Hot Springs Village Inside Out. Glad that you're here. Welcome to my back porch. You can probably hear a lot of the birds chirping in the back, and it's a glorious time of year, all the pollen aside. Sitting here watching a bunch of blue jays that have occupied the birdhouse in the backyard. Got the hummingbird feeder going. The hummingbirds have arrived. They've come back. I need to do some research. I don't know where these critters go in the winter, but they evidently go south for the winter. They go somewhere, but they're back. They're back in full force, and it's great. It's been a really fantastic 2 or 3 weeks, all the storms aside. Just seeing the place come to life. The view out my back porch, there's some woods, there's a few houses, the lake is just a stone's throw away. And when there's no foliage, well, you got clear view. I can see more of the lake, I can see more houses. And now, a mere 3 weeks later, it's just a bunch of trees and leaves and a few houses that you can kind of see through the way. It's great. It's just great. It's why you continually hear me encourage you, come visit anytime that you want and visit multiple times a year. Today, I'm going to fixate on a phrase that my coaching clients hear me use all the time. I do executive coaching for city government leaders back in Texas. I would do it other places, but I'm in Texas, so I focus on Texas. You do you. Clients would tell you, I've got a few key catchphrases, and that certainly is one of them. You do you. The context for that usually is when I'm asked by a client who's going through something, and they just want to cut to the chase, and they just want me to tell them what I think they should do, which I don't do that. It's not my role. It's their life, and they need to make the decision. But I want to help them figure it out. And so we'll do some role playing, and I might explain to them what I'm thinking and what I have found works for me. And I will invariably at some point in that conversation say, but you do you. You do you. Let's talk about retirement. And let's talk about the possibilities of you retiring to Hot Springs Village and whether or not that would be something that you should do. And let's fixate on that phrase, you do you. What prompted this was J.P. Morgan released not all that long ago. They had done this sample study of, I think it was 5,000 folks who were retired or about to retire. And they were really examining spending patterns. The thing was really comprehensive, and I didn't muddle through it all, but I was really kind of fixated on the spending of folks in retirement. And what had prompted this was I saw a video of a gentleman that had been a financial planner, and he was encouraging people, you really need to embrace your spending. Now, for a frugal guy like me, I thought, I guess if you're just trying to time this out where you've got a certain amount of money and you've got a certain amount of life and you want your life and your money to kind of end about the same time, I guess, and I guess that, I mean, if that's your goal, okay. It's going to be problematic because you don't know how long you're going to live. Unless, heaven forbid, you have had some diagnosis and the doctors have a really good idea of what you've got left. And there are people who are in that situation. And if that's your situation, I have sympathy, but at the same time, it's kind of good to have a heads up and prepare yourself and prepare your family, prepare your finances and whatever else you have to do. But hopefully that's not your situation. And if that is your goal, I get it. I know other people who they think about leaving money and they've got certain things that they want to leave behind and they got certain people that they want to leave that money or those resources behind for. You're looking at a guy that's not thinking about either one of those things. Rhonda and I we want to cash flow our life. Not because we have to, but because we want to, because it's the way we've always lived our life. And at this stage of life, it's not likely that we're going to dramatically change our habits. I have found that unless people are forced to, as people get older, if people were impulsive buyers, they're still impulsive buyers, maybe even more so in later life. I've heard countless stories, and I know too many people who have gone into some serious debt in their retirement years because they couldn't curb the spending. So it seemed kind of fascinating to me to hear this fellow talk about how basically encouraging people, you need to get comfortable spending your money. You've worked all of your life for this money, and the huge caveat to me in hearing this advice was, you don't know how much money people have. I mean, it's one thing if you're just, if you're loaded and there's no way you're going to live long enough to spend all the money unless you just go hog wild, which most of us don't want to do. But the bigger issue is most of us don't have that kind of money. And if you do, I salute you. It's great. I'd like to be your friend. Let's go to the J.P. Morgan, because it was really interesting to me. J.P. Morgan figured out that there were basically three kinds of phases that older people go through. And they are based, as you would imagine, they're based on how old folks are. They had what they call the go-go years. I'm in that phase. I don't feel like I'm in my go-go phase. I don't feel like I've ever been in a go-go phase, but that's me. Again, here's the point. You do you. 65 to 74. So if you're 65 to 74, they have found that some spending can be a little bit elevated, more so than you spent prior to turning 65. It's almost 2%. It goes up almost 2%, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you're thinking about, the overall amount of money that we have accumulated for retirement. It could be. And it's understandable. This all makes sense to me. Probably makes sense to you too, because in those go-go years, those 65 to 74, our health is likely still good. And the number one thing that I hear people wanting to do, and the number one thing that frankly I hear people, even around here in the village, do, travel. Travel. There are a lot of folks spending a lot of money on travel. Stands to reason. I get it. You've got time. There's these places that you've always wanted to go see and visit, and now you've got time, and you've worked all of your life to amass a certain degree amount of resources, and you've got the resources to go travel. Go travel. I don't want to. Listen, I'm content to stay right here on this back porch, so that's me. Again, you do you. Leisure. That also makes sense. Hot Springs Village, we are blessed with 9, if you count Diamante, 9 golf courses, 11 lakes, 3 that are kind of bigger lakes and motorboats and that sort of stuff can happen on, but we are surrounded outside the gates of the village with some big lakes and big fishing and big water sports and a lot of mountains and hike to your heart's content, golf to your heart's content, fish to your heart's content, hike as much as you want. It's all within spitting distance of Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, inside and outside, hence the name of the show. So that makes sense. Makes sense that we're going to spend our money from 65 to 74 in these go-go years. We're going to spend it doing that. The third thing that they discovered is true for many of you that watch the show. And the reason I know this is because, well, you send me emails. You're thinking about selling the home place. You've lived in the home place for 20 plus years. It needs some work. Needs a little bit of updating. Rick Marshall, shout out to McGraw Realtors, sponsors of the show. Rick in, I think it wasn't the April, because I'm in April. Hello. Operator, would you trace this call and tell me where I am? It was in the February. It was in the February real estate update. It was talking about renovating houses and how the houses in the village that would go on the market, if they had been updated, sold quickly. If they had not been updated, they sat a little while. So this is the third expense that people in the 65 to 74 age bracket spend it renovating your home. And you either spend it renovating your home to make your home more like you would like it to be at this phase of your life, or you're renovating your home to sell it. And either way, it could be a great investment. And so we can spend some money doing those things. So all of that makes sense. So in these go-go years, these 65 to 74, our spending goes up about 2%. Then we've got the 75 to 84. And at this point, our spending is still slightly higher than it was before we retired. And it mostly is going toward our home maintenance, and it's beginning to go perhaps to healthcare. Makes perfect sense. Between 75 and 84, now maybe we've got some health challenges that we didn't have prior to turning 75, and so the healthcare bills go up a little bit higher. Our home's getting a little bit older, and we need to spend some money to try to keep the house maintained. So our spending goes up about 0.5% from what it was prior to retirement. Okay, well that made sense to me. J.P. Morgan calls this the slow go years. So we're starting to go slower. Then 85 and above. 85 and above they call the no-go years. So we go from go-go to slow-go to no-go. And no, it doesn't mean that we're dead yet. We're at 85 and above, and now our spending goes down. Now our spending it drops significantly, about 0.5%. from prior pre-retirement. And the number one, and far and away, the big expense there is healthcare. And pretty much everything else drops. 85 and above, we're not likely spending any money on travel, if much at all. We're not spending a ton of money, probably, on leisure. We're not necessarily spending money to renovate our home. It pretty much, the uptick is in healthcare. All of that made perfect sense to me, and I started thinking about this and pondering me and Rhonda, and all of us who are in this demographic, this age bracket, we baby boomers, and realizing that, you know, what may be right for us may not be right for you, and vice versa. There's not one size fits all in any of this. Number one, what are your resources? I don't know. I know what mine are, and I know enough about my life to know mine aren't enough for me to just go crazy. But I didn't go crazy when I was 20 or 30 or 40 or 50, so why would I go crazy now? I've joked before, because it still tickles me to see some older person that they hit retirement age and they're going to buy the big Harley. They're just going to buy a bunch of toys that they weren't able to have when they were younger. I salute it. If that's what you want to do, great. Again, you do you. But this is where what their story is and what my story is. Those are two completely different stories, and neither one of them is right, neither one of them is wrong, necessarily. It just kind of is what it is. This is where you considering Hot Springs Village, or any other place for that matter, I think it really matters for us to take a hard look in the mirror and to sit down and think very soberly and very seriously. And this can be fun at the same time. It was for us. And to think about what you want your life to look like. I would hope that we don't get to this age of our lives and do that for the first time. I would hope that somewhere along the line, we've always done that. But if you haven't, that's fine. Do it now. Do it now and embrace the process of really examining your finances, really examining your resources. And I hear 100% of the time, people are thinking about Hot Springs Village, and the first thing on their mind is all these things related to lifestyle and the ability to live an affordable life. It's not about trying to live cheaply. It's about trying to make our resources go just as far as we can make them go, and for us to maintain some semblance of the lifestyle that we've lived pretty much all of our lives, or most of our lives. This isn't about trying to break out of some circle that we've been in all of our life, and now we want to be high flying. Now we want to be in that jet set crowd that we've never been in before. I'm not saying that can't happen, but I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing most of us, if we lived a certain kind of a lifestyle, now in retirement, we'd like to maintain that if we can. And if we can't, okay, what are we going to do about it? Are we going to face the reality, and are we going to downsize? Are we going to live more frugally than maybe we have in the past? Well, we certainly probably be a wise thing to do. But we're just really trying to, I think most of us are just trying to live the kind of life that we've gotten accustomed to living. And at this age of life, we probably don't want to sacrifice too terribly much if we don't have to. Doesn't mean we're not willing to cut back here and cut back there. But I think as we look at our life, it's probably pretty smart to follow J.P. Morgan's research, since it was a huge sample size, and think about 65 to 74. What might that look like? Our go-go years. Do we want to travel? What are our leisure activities going to look like? What kind of money do we need to spend on home renovation. And why? Do we want to make our home where we are right now more of what we would like it to be? Do we want to renovate it so that we can maximize what we get out of it when we sell it? It's up to us to decide all that. Then from 75 to 84, these slow-go years, where understandably we're probably going to need to have some money set aside to maintain the house. Some of those things that maybe we did for ourselves, now we need to hire somebody else to do them because we're probably not going to be very able to do it. The days of me getting up on a ladder and climbing up on the roof to blow the leaves and stuff off the roof, those are over. I did it last summer and nearly passed out. Of course, I did it on the hottest day of the year, or one of the hottest days of the year, so that was foolish on my part. I grew up as a Green Bay Packer fan. The Green Bay Packers under Vince Lombardi were kind of the thing, of course, when I was a little kid. And Ray Nitschke and some of these other guys were just, these were just heroes of mine. And was it Jerry Kramer? It was Jerry Kramer or somebody who lost his life. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But there was some older person from the Green Bay Packers that climbing up on a roof, blowing out gutters or something, fell off a ladder, had a big head injury and lost his life. And I always remember that. I remember that story and I'm like, I'm going to die, but I don't know that I want to die cleaning my gutters out or blowing leaves off the roof. So there's things like that that are going to happen. Well, for me, way before 75, but from 74 to 75 to 84, home maintenance, if we want to maintain our home, and we should, it's a huge investment for all of us. And so you want to maintain your home, and you're going to have to hire some things done that maybe you didn't have to hire before. And then that final phase, that no-go years, the 85 plus, where we need to have some resources in case we need a little bit more money for health care. And all the other stuff kind of drops off. I'm going to end with a comment about gratitude. And again, the theme of this is you do you. I'm in no position to tell you what to do. Some days I feel barely in a position to tell myself what to do. And I've got a vested interest in my life. I got interest in your life, but I don't have skin in the game in your life. If you decide to come to Hot Springs Village or not, it's of no consequence to me. I want you to make the best decision for you. Am I extolling the virtues of this place? I am. And I'm doing it, there's no ulterior motive here. I'm only doing it because I love the place. I'm only doing it because prior to 2018, I had never heard of this place. And it was virtually in my backyard. I mean, 4 or 5 hours away from the Dallas-Fort Worth area is pretty stinking close to have never even heard of the place. And quite frankly, I feel that way about much, if not most, of the state of Arkansas because I had not spent that much time over here. Even though I had lived adjacent to this state virtually all my life. And it's just a remarkable place. And there's all kinds of advantages of it, not the least of which is the state does not tax Social Security. So there's huge cost of living, and we're going to continue to do more content about that to try to help you figure this out so that you can do you. But I want to end with gratitude. I'm grateful that I found this place. I'm grateful that it was a happy accident and serendipity kicked in and I discovered it. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for you clicking play. I'm grateful to be in a position where I can share with you our experiences and our insights and what we have learned from 2018 to now and what we're continuing to learn. I'm grateful for the friendliness of this place. And this is a diverse place, make no mistake about it. I'm surrounded by people who are not from the state of Arkansas. And the few who are here that I've encountered, everybody is really friendly. Everybody is real supportive. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. As a guy that grew up in concrete, the concrete jungle of cities, okay, suburbs of concrete jungles, I've never lived in a small town. And this feels like living in a small town. And I like it. At this stage of my life, I like it. Now, you may not, and again, you do you. But I'm grateful for that. Super grateful for the nature, grateful for the peace, grateful for the quiet, grateful for the blue jays that are living in my birdhouse, grateful for the hummingbirds that come visit the hummingbird feeder, grateful for all the squirrels and the chipmunks and the foxes and everything else that comes and pilfers through the area, grateful for the deer. A lot to be grateful for. Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, for us, makes gratitude easier. That's a big thing at this stage of life for us. I think it's probably a big thing for you too. So come on down. Come and visit Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. My recommendation, as always, is to come multiple times, come during multiple seasons, make an appointment at some visit with a real estate agent, simply not to necessarily buy property, but somebody to kind of show you the place and give you kind of a lay of the land, because it will greatly accelerate just your knowledge about how vast this place is and give you some semblance of what you could get in a house at various price points. You should just do it. You should just do it. These are some of the best tour guides that you're going to find in the village. And you can always say no, and you can always be in charge. There's nothing wrong with it. But you need to come and visit. You owe it to yourself to lay eyes on it and to experience it firsthand. In spite of 4K video and everything else that I'm trying to do here, I can't do it justice. Thanks for clicking play. See you next time.
Thanks for watching Hot Springs Village Inside Out. You'll find all our episodes at hotspringsvillageinsideout.com or on YouTube.